Are you sitting up straight? It matters. It matters. I feel like I'm going that way instead of that way. Am I supposed to be going that way? Where? No. That's the camera? Where am I supposed to be looking? Am I supposed to be talking to him? I'm not. Oh my. Y'all making it complicated. I'm just supposed to show up.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Padre's Ponderings. And if you notice, this is not Rebecca. This is Rebecca's mom right over here, by far and away my better half. And I would say at the outset that perhaps you're just a teensy bit uneasy about being here today, since you'd like to be behind the scenes. Would that be true?
That's very true. I would much rather be behind the scenes, yes.
But I keep bringing you out, like in the stuff I write in the East newsletter and all that, and telling about all the flour and everything else.
Right. My life is an open book. Yes.
Look pretty spiff today.
Oh, thank you.
Pretty spiff.
Yeah.
What's this right here?
Well, actually, I wanted to see if you remember this, because I haven't worn it in quite some time.
Came from the Holy Land.
And who brought it from the Holy Lands?
Perhaps.
Yes.
Mary and the little baby.
But what's on the other side? The Annunciation, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That came from a store in Old Town, in the very Old Town part of Jerusalem, back in 1992 or 3, something like that.
Yep.
First time I was over there.
First time you've been shopping without me, too. You did quite good. Because I wasn't on that trip. So this was one of the beautiful items that you brought home.
I was over there studying. I couldn't be distracted by you over there.
Right.
Had to be focused,
Focused, yes.
Focused. As long that's, you know, that trip is, I talked about in the sermon with
yes,
Joseph.
Yes, you did. Showed the pictures and everything.
Yeah, when I was studying there.
But there was a lot of fighting going on. I remember you called, we were still at the school, Thomas Sumter Academy, at that time, and I was the lower school librarian, so I was there. And you called in from the Holy Lands, and we could hear gunfire in the background.
That was when they were, they turned over Jericho and parts of the West Bank to Palestinian control. And there were a lot of Palestinians going through Jerusalem, and they were shooting off guns and stuff like that, celebrating the
I must say, it was a little unnerving for us to know that you were right in the thick of all that. But thanks be to God, you had a wonderful trip and came home safely.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It was. Good memory.
You got on red today, I got on red today. Is that because it's Christmas time is coming up?
Yeah. You know, you have your Christmas shirts, outfits, ugly sweaters, whatever you want to call them. And so you pull them out once a year, and it's kind of nice to bring things out. So you don't wear your red sweater very often, but you do at Christmas.
So are you going to a Christmas service?
I'll go to a few, actually. I love all the services. I love all the beauty of the historic church, and we've never had a service over here.
No.
And so that'll be our first Christmas Eve service here at the chapel. So I will start out at the chapel and then go over to the historic church for the 10 o'clock service.
Yeah. And remember, Christmas Eve services, we have the 3 o'clock service on the school campus, and that's for children. It'll be a relatively short service, and Nathan will be leading that one. And there'll be music and everything. I think Jordan's doing the music for that, but it'll be real special. But it's geared really for little people. And then after that, same place in the school campus at 4:30, there'll be a service for families. And during that service, there's a special program for the little ones that'll be done in the back there. Michael Ann and the folks are working with that while Jonathan is preaching for the adults and everything. And then after that, at 6 o'clock here in the chapel, 8 and 10 on the historic campus, and all those are high mass with candles and incense and all the rest of it will be real special. You go read?
I'm reading at the service here. At the chapel. Yeah, yes, I do have a reading for that.
Reading prayers?
Prayers and, prayers. I started to say prayers and lighting the candle, but that's over. We did that this past week.
That's right, lighting the Advent. So Advent candles right here behind us. All four of the candles will be lit, and then the white one in the middle will be lit
Big
as well.
Christmas candles. So looking forward to that
candles.
Because this is a very special place, and just to see it from the ground up, it's been amazing. And then when the shutdown with COVID, and now we're going full ahead, it's just a blessing.
I'd forgotten this was the first Christmas service here.
Yes, the first Christmas Eve service.
dedicated in February, I want to say, and then COVID shut everything down March. And then last year, we just had Jason and Jordan and I told some stories, and they played some music, and we just live streamed that, but we couldn't have a service.
The
So we'll
intention was that first year when we had it in February, when the chapel opened in February, was that it would be ready for that Christmas Eve service, but it was delayed because of the construction wasn't complete. So God's timing, though, is always perfect.
And this year, last year we had reservations and all that kind of stuff on the historic.
Right.
No reservations.
Right.
Wear a mask if you want to wear a mask. We're not doing social distancing or anything. And of course, this service, the 4:30 service on the school campus, and this service, the 6 o'clock service here, those will be live streamed, YouTube, Facebook, and online through our website. Those will all be live streamed for you, and they'll be played over again on the Sunday after Christmas. So Christmas Eve, we have services here, there. Christmas Day, just on the historic campus, 10 o'clock. And that'll be a special, quiet kind of Eucharist with carols, and be real special there at 10 o'clock. And then that's Saturday, and then Sunday, no services anywhere. We'll rebroadcast the Christmas Eve services on a loop repeatedly throughout Christmas Day. And then we'll be back to regular service the weekend after that, January 1st and 2nd. Be back into doing that.
And it's supposed to be kind of mild temperatures, too. We're cool today and a little rainy, but
Maybe
it's going to be in the 70s.
maybe turn the fireplace on this evening.
Yeah, okay.
Ambiance.
Ambiance. We'll have a little ambiance.
Turn
Yes.
on you got the house all decorated up. We got
Yeah.
those candles on the mantelpiece and the
garland.
with the
Yes.
lights in the garland, and
Yeah,
winter wonderland.
It'll be a perfect night for a little fire in the fireplace, yes.
And then this past week you had all your buddies over there from Daughters of the Holy Cross.
Daughters of the Holy Cross, a wonderful ministry of women in the church, and we will soon have 11 more admitted into the chapter that just finished their training. So I had them over for a little drop-in, Christmas drop-in.
So that'll be about 2 dozen of them then, won't it? Something like that.
We have originally 21 members in the Esther chapter of the Daughters of the Holy Cross, and then we'll be admitting 11 more. So what's that? You know, I don't do math very well. I'm not good at math, but anyway.
I remember
It's
I
a
taught
good
you
number.
math.
Yeah. You know, I think I got a
So it's almost 3 dozen. in the group.
pass on that somehow. I don't know. Yeah.
So it's almost 3 dozen in there. And that new group is going to be
January the 9th will be the
January
service.
9th right here.
The service of admission right here, and it's just at the end of the regular church service, we will have the ladies here, and they'll receive their crosses, and this is the cross that we wear every day. It's a reminder that we can't live without Jesus, and it's part of the vow is to wear your cross daily. So they'll be receiving their crosses, and it'll be a really exciting time because they went through 9 weeks of training, Bible study and training. So.
And Jonathan is the chaplain for that, and he'll be...
Jonathan's the chaplain, and he met with each one of the ladies at the end of their time, and he really enjoyed getting to know them and hear their stories of faith. So
And he'll be doing the
real special.
installation for that service here.
Oh, he will?
He'll be doing that.
Okay.
I'll be preaching on the historic campus that day. But it'll be real special. And Daughters of the Holy Cross you'd probably say that'd be your main ministry, wouldn't it?
That is my main ministry. I also set up the altar on Saturdays with a couple of other ladies here at the chapel. So I'm on Altar Guild and Daughters of the Holy Cross. So right now, yeah, that's my main ministries. I help out in other ways if we have women's events, but Rebecca's, ahead of that now, and so it's been nice. I have to take care of you.
That's the big ministry.
Big ministry.
Big
yeah.
ministry.
Top ministry.
Big ministry.
High maintenance there.
High maintenance. High maintenance.
High maintenance. The shoe's on the other foot most of the time. I'm usually the one that's high maintenance, but anyway.
Had to call you to come help me yesterday because the car wouldn't crank.
Exactly, yeah.
And then
But
Came with me this morning. We had to take it to the View place over there.
But you know what? I was just thanking God that I didn't have to get the screwdriver out on the old Pontiac that we had one time.
On the farm. Golly, Dave. You could start that thing, couldn't you?
We have stories of vehicles on the farm, and we didn't have a dealership to take our vehicles to. We had Ken and Norman, the local mechanics.
Because our cars didn't come from dealerships.
No, they did not. They came from
hook and crook.
Bubba's used car lot most of the time. And when one would die, we'd go get another one. It was a different place then. So I was really thanking God that we could just drive one car to get the other car today.
Amen.
Yep.
So you got any Christmas
Come a long
memories that
way.
are hanging out in your mind there? You remember the
my
screwdriver
goodness.
on the farm. What other kind of memories you got?
Oh, that was
Christmas time.
That was a car thing. Christmas time, there are just so many. I had wonderful memories growing up as a child, preparing for Christmas with my grandmother, and we were still on the farm. And I would go over, and several days, the week of Christmas actually, she would have her dining room table laid out with.
Now, your mom and daddy and you and your family lived on one part of the farm. Your grandparents lived
About what, a half a mile?
no more than that.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
still on
we
the farm.
could have walked it, but we didn't. But yeah, the family was right close together. And so I would go over, and she'd have a little pine tree. It looked sort of like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but she'd have a little pine tree cut from the woods right there on the property. And she would even, it was so small, she would sit it on the coffee table. And I would decorate with a few little ornaments that she had. But she'd have her dining room table laid out with, and I was thinking about this the other day when I was cooking for my little drop-in. She had divinity fudge and peanut brittle because they had peanuts that they grew on the farm. So we always had peanut brittle, pound cakes, oatmeal cookies, fudge. It was just an array of all kinds of things. And then we would fix plates of a little bit of sampling of everything and wrap them up and cover them up, and she would distribute those out to the workers on the farm and then to neighbors and things too. So that's a very special memory, and it was all about Christmas and food at that time too.
And she always gave you the same presents, didn't she give all the children the same presents?
Yeah, and I have actually continued that tradition because she would always make the grandchildren pajamas. And it was usually a nice soft flannel little gown.
She made them.
But she would
She made them with a sewing
yeah,
machine.
she would make them. And we would get a savings bond. And so we saved our savings bonds, and you know they have to mature and everything. Well, by the time I graduated from high school and went on a trip to Europe for my graduation, that's what paid for
Your savings
my trip,
bonds.
was my savings bond that she and my granddaddy gave us at Christmas. So it was a real good tradition. So now our grandchildren, and if they're watching, it doesn't matter because they get the same thing every year. They get a pair of pajamas.
But you don't make the pajamas. You one-click the pajamas.
No, I don't even have a sewing machine anymore. I
used to do all that.
Used to, but don't have a
You
sewing
used to make
machine anymore.
Rebecca a lot of Rebecca's clothes, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
And your own.
And my own. Mm-hmm. But that's long ago and far away. It's
So
not
it is.
not the same anymore, and it's even hard to find fabrics and things like that now. But anyway, that was a really special time growing up in the country. And then when it came Christmas Day, it was exhausting because my other grandmother, my mother's mother, was a widow, but she lived about 2 hours up the road, and we would have to go.
And that was where?
And that was in Lancaster, South Carolina. And Mama would load us up. I mean, we would barely open our little Santa Claus things that morning, and then we'd load it up in the station wagon and go up and have lunch with my grandmother there, and she was a wonderful cook. And then turn around and go back to the other grandparents and buy more food. And by the time we finished the day around 8, 9 o'clock that night, we were just worn out. But it was what we needed to do, and we made it work. So I'm sure a lot of other families do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Rotate around.
So.
And I remember we had, remember Christmas of '83?
Oh, gosh, I don't do numbers well. Go ahead.
Christmas Eve, '83 is when Daddy died.
Oh, yeah, but that was so sad. That was our saddest Christmas in our 50 years together, I'm sure. Because it was Christmas Eve when he died. And then you had to even go into the service that night, the Christmas Eve service, way up the road in the country and do a service. You weren't a priest then, but you
I did the prayers, and I remember being at the altar and praying for Daddy. And then the service was like the day after Christmas, or maybe 2 days after Christmas.
2 days after.
And then last year we went up there the same day, 2 days after Christmas, and went up there and buried Mama's ashes, and right there by him.
Right by, and your sister too is right there.
Little country cemetery.
Yeah.
Aunts and uncles and cousins, a lot of folks, a lot of familiar names on those tombstones. A lot of them. Wow.
A lot happening.
We got a plot up there too, but we're not going to be up there.
No. When we traveled down here almost, well, what are we going into, our 26th year?
We're in the 26th year.
We have wonderful biological family and in those cemeteries and those church plots, but we have so many Christian friends and families right here, so we'll be here.
Yep.
Whether this Columbarian or the one over on the other campus, but you and I had already talked about that. So,
and that was Church of the Ascension is where all of my relatives are, and yours are all at
Terza Presbyterian Church
in downtown Dalzell.
Yeah, another little country.
But that one's closed now.
But they still take
Keep
care
the
of the
cemetery.
cemetery and keep the little church is beautiful little church, and they keep that too. So, still a lot of faithful people in that area.
You know, we got lots of spiritual roots all around, and over the years we've crossed paths with folks. A lot of it through Curcio, through visiting other churches and working with churches over the years. It's been a growing family.
And then a lot of alumni from Thomas Sumter Academy, where you were the headmaster for 28 years. Oh my goodness, it's like, no time at all, you start hearing from somebody else and they say, you remember me, and we have faces of little ones. And they're all grown up now. But it was a wonderful time too. Oh yeah, we look the same.
We look the same, yeah.
Well, a few highlights here and there.
But other than a few highlights, that's pretty much the same as it was 25 years ago.
We think so, right?
I think so. I think you're still looking good.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're supposed to say I'm looking good too.
We did have cataracts removed, right?
You're supposed to say I'm looking good.
Oh, I know you're looking good. You do. You always look the same.
See, it goes reciprocal.
Reciprocal. Okay, I missed that. Sorry.
One Christmas, didn't I give you that?
Yeah. That would have been
A long time ago too, wasn't it?
around 25 years. When we were married, 25 years. Yeah,
That's about right.
That was a shock, actually.
A shock.
That was a shock, yeah. Because you designed that ring. And tell them what you designed it to look like.
Looked like a flower.
Like a flower.
That's because my nickname for you is?
It's German for Blumen.
Which is German for flower.
Yeah.
So I call you Bloom a lot. Yep.
Yeah. And I like for you to call me Bloom, because that really takes to the beginning of our relationship.
Yep. Way back.
Way back.
So Christmas time services are shifting up a little bit. Things are slowing down some. But one thing that doesn't slow down, y'all need to keep in mind, is food bank is going.
Wow, yeah.
And that'll be running. I mean, they had like 170-something families there yesterday for food bank. And thankfully, many of you brought canned goods and stuff, diapers. They need all kind of things. But be sure that'll be a great thing for you to remember to do Christmas Eve when you come to worship services, is bring food for the food bank and leave it at the church, and all that'll get gathered up on Monday mornings and taken over there in time for distribution next Monday afternoon. And it'll be open out also the week after that. When people are hungry, they're hungry all the time.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful ministry you have.
Really is.
And lots of volunteers make that happen, don't they?
Oh, gosh. A lot of them. And Mary LaVarnway does that report each Monday night about what's going on, and she has a devotion with that, and that's real special, too.
Right.
A lot to be thankful for.
Amen.
It really is. I got my sermon finished for this weekend.
Well, that's a good thing.
It really is a good thing.
Because otherwise you'd be tossing and turning and
Yeah,
wondering when you're going to finish it.
the
So
joy of Christmas.
I always like to know
Joy
when
of
you've got it done.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. And then tomorrow afternoon we have rehearsal. I think tomorrow afternoon is on the historic campus, and then on Thursday morning
Over here?
is here, rehearsing for the services and getting all that lined up. And we got expecting a lot of folks, so y'all plan to be here. But the big thing is, don't just come by yourself. Bring somebody. All of y'all have buddies that don't go to church anywhere. Invite somebody to come to church with you and bring them. It'll be special services. We'll have room for them. Just like here in the chapel, we seat 500 people. That's a lot of folks. So invite your friends and come on and come. It'll be very, very special, and we'll have room for you. So Rebecca's gone.
Rebecca had a family event. Both the kids are home. We enjoyed that Sunday night. I had them over for supper, and
You fixed their
they
favorites.
fixed their favorites, but they were very talkative, and they're usually very quiet, these two. So we were talking about that, and that just means they're happy. They have found their places in universities, and one in Kentucky and one in California, and they came home excited, and it did our hearts good to know that they were so well adjusted.
And
So they're today going to see the other grandparent, Jamie's father, and then we're going to have lunch with them.
Up in Lexington.
Columbia, yeah, up in the Columbia area.
That'd be special too.
So,
He's quite a fellow too. Vietnam
Absolutely.
vet. Flew those helicopters down through those jungles. Gracious goodness alive.
he's got quite a story. So,
And then after he got out of the military, for must have been 15 or 20 years, he flew for the University of South Carolina. He flew
He
their
sure
planes,
did.
flew the president.
around.
All those executives flew him all over the place, raising money.
Yeah. Things have changed, a lot since then. And then we hope we'll see our son, Chuck, and his family on the 27th. So they'll come after Christmas
It's been a few days.
and spend a few days, yeah. They used to come during Christmas when the children were little, but now we have young adults, and so they
Yeah,
stay
Raleigh's-
home. And then
Riley's 21.
Riley's 22, and Britton just turned 21, Charlie 16. So, and travel too. It's from Clemson to Bluffton. The road's not the best when it comes to travel time, so that waiting a little bit helps that too.
It's okay, except that
95 to
stretch.
26, yeah.
That stretch where you have to get up there toward 26, and then it's okay on 26 until you start getting near Columbia.
Right.
And then on the other side of Columbia from here is where they're doing all that construction. So Columbia traffic, it kind of has a choke point
And
in
it
there.
slows things down. So I'm glad they wait, and it also gives us a day to kind of recoup from all the services the night before, and then get ready, to get prepared for them to come in too. So, but we took that trip right after Thanksgiving because we went there for Thanksgiving, and then as soon as you get home, the tree goes up, and it's just hard to believe that it's been 4 weeks, and here we are at Christmas from Thanksgiving. So
That time goes very fast from Thanksgiving
it really
to Christmas.
does. It really does. So, but it's a beautiful time of year, and so we just feel very grateful for
And we'll
where
have,
we are and where the church is, and just a lot of good things going on.
And I'll be preaching at the 6 o'clock service here, and at the 10 o'clock on the historic. Jonathan's preaching at the 8 on the historic. And Nathan and Josh will be involved with the services. And Nathan is going to be doing the thurible with the incense. He's been practicing.
He's pretty excited about it.
He is very excited about that. He'll be
And
doing that on all three campuses.
that's a huge blessing for us this year, too, is to have Pastor Nathan Weaver and Josh Lake with us. And for them to be here to experience this, holy time of year and the beauty of everything we do at Christmas time.
And they'll be a part of all of 6, 8, and 10.
Right.
They'll be a part, and then Josh and Jonathan are doing the Christmas Day service, and Nathan's doing the 3:30 service that afternoon, Christmas Eve afternoon for the children. And he's doing a great job over there at Cross Schools. He's doing a wonderful job.
We're very fortunate to have them. So.
Got a good cadre of people over there at Cross Schools with Nathan and Michael Ann, Elizabeth and Rebecca and Josh. A lot of faithful folks over there ministering to the children and the faculty. It's a great, great ministry. We're very blessed. So what else you want to share?
I think we're about out of time, aren't we? Are we out of time? We got a few minutes.
I don't wear a watch.
Oh, that's true. You never have one on watch.
So we got time to whatever you want to share from your heart. We'd be glad to hear. Because you're kind of a mystery guest. See, nobody. We talk about you.
But a real mystery when they know everything that's going on right in my life. But I feel very honored that I give you some good material for your sermons from time to time. So, yeah.
And just got a new book in. I want to finish reading the book. Read a lot of books, but I just got a new book in, and looking forward to seeing what I got you for Christmas this year.
I know. It's
always that's my big surprise every year is what I got you for Christmas.
Well, you might even be surprised this year because we're out of colors when it comes to cashmere sweaters. You're not getting a cashmere sweater. I have no more colors to order. You have a closet full. So yours is going to be a surprise, too. How about that?
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Usually pretty predictable, but not this year. Yep.
I had to be like Chuck. Chuck was always rattling the presents and checking under the tree and opening stuff up.
He could not take a surprise. He couldn't stand it. He was always trying to find where they were hidden and then shaking around to see what was in it. Yeah.
That's the way my father was. Same way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Christmas is just a wonderful, wonderful time of year, and we're just so thankful.
Amen.
Yep.
And may I say that I'm thankful for you.
Oh, thank you, hon.
Because you're my Christmas present every day.
Oh,
well,
wow, it really is going to be a nice Christmas present for you. That would take that.
I got to watch out for this kind of stuff, So, anyway,
he wants to make sure there's some biscuits in the pot. That's the main thing.
And I noticed that's what those things show up every now and then around Christmas time.
They do. Yeah.
And we went up there with Chuck and them at Clemson at Thanksgiving. There's biscuits up there too.
Oh yeah. Actually, that's the tradition. Is my biscuits and Margaret's sausage gravy, and it makes a pretty good combination for Thanksgiving morning. So, yeah.
Yep. Very good.
That's something we all look forward to once a year.
Well, thank y'all for being with us today. It's a blessing to be serving you, and Becky and I both just love the time that we get to spend with you in person, and the hugs we give to you, and the smiles that you share with us. And it's a joy to be serving the Lord at your side. So thank you for being with us this afternoon. I hope to see you in a Christmas worship service, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whenever. And in all that we do here, know that God loves you, and I love you as well.
And what does Rebecca usually say? Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
And what do I say? Thanks be
to God.
You do watch, don't you?
I do.
All right.
I tune in.
Way to go.
Yes, I do.
Blessings to y'all.